Great. So good evening, everyone from New Zealand, and thank you for joining. We are in our webinar series for study in New Zealand. We have Victoria University of Wellington with us today. For everyone who is joining, the format of webinar will be, there'll be a brief about RBS, there'll be a presentation by Martin from Victoria University, and then we'll be having a brief update about the post-study work option and the residence pathway from Sondland, and then there'll be Q&A session. So everyone who is joining, please ask your questions in a Q&A box. We will be answering those questions by the end of the session. Don't raise a hand, it's a webinar. I can't allow everyone to ask questions on live. So as we go, we have our panelists today. We have Martin. Again, I'll ask each panelist to brief about themselves for 10 to 15 seconds. So Martin, over to you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Martin. I work in the international office at Victoria University of Wellington. I'm based in Wellington, and yeah, I look forward to presenting to you guys today.
Thank you. Over to Son.
Yeah, hello, everyone. This is Sun Lim. I'm based in Auckland. I'm a licensed immigration advisor. I often travel to Malaysia and Southeast Asia. So if you have any questions about immigration or post-study work visa, or any other questions, you can pop into the Q&A box and I'll try to answer them.
Great. And guys, just from my brief, I'm a director of RBS Intellect, but at the same time supporting all partners across the region. I'm in this sector for nearly 2 decades now. I'll make sure that we try to answer as much things and support my co-panelists on all the workings. So again, as a brief for everyone, again, a lot of people may know about New Zealand, but we normally always do a brief about why New Zealand and what's and what it's for. So again, New Zealand, as we call it, our home. I think Martin is in Wellington, Son is in Auckland, I'm in Auckland. It's a safe and it's a peaceful country to stay and come and study in. All the universities are in top 500. We have Victoria University, which is in top 300, if I'm not wrong. And in a couple of places, it is in top 100 also in terms of the particular subjects and course areas. Now, again, as what was said, that every student who study in New Zealand, they get some kind of post-study work option depending on the course and qualification they're doing. We'll talk about that in detail. And the last is that New Zealand is the quality of life. And one thing is that it's a good study destination, one of the peaceful country to study in, as per the couple of reports and all. Now, a lot of people who are on the webinar, we are talking about the Asian destination. New Zealand is on the eastern side of Australia. We are an island country, so technically, if you see if you say from Asia, there are multiple kind of flights, but I will be saying there's not many direct flights from say Nepal, Bangladesh, India, Sri Lanka, or technically no. There'll be indirect flights from coming through Singapore, Malaysia, Thailand, or coming from Qatar or Dubai. Now, from our Malaysian friends or Filipino friends, there are multiple direct flights, but there are indirect flights also. So again, we recommend everyone to ask as many questions as much you want to know about anything in terms of New Zealand education. And to make sure that we do it well with your answers and everything is under the law and under the practice what we follow here. Going around the New Zealand education system, I briefly covered this too, because a lot of times you will be hearing about levels 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now, on a layman's side, New Zealand education system is a British-based or a Commonwealth-based education system. We follow the same thing called Masters, doctoral, postgraduate. So if going a brief for everyone joining from Asian countries, is that a doctoral degree or a PhD is a level 10, Masters is level 9, postgraduate diploma, postgraduate certificate or honors bachelor's or first years of Masters is level 8. Graduate certificate, bachelor's degree, graduate diplomas. These graduate diplomas are actually unique to New Zealand framework, or a bachelor degree, which is a 3-year, is equal to level 7. For first year, second year of bachelor's or diplomas or associate degree, as per in Australia, we call level 5 and 6. And then we have level 4 certificates also. Again, we'll be going in detail depending on which course you're choosing, how you're choosing, but I will try to answer as many questions here. Now, for everyone, again, I can see the questions are coming in. please start asking your questions in Q&A box. It will be easier. Don't raise the hand. It will not help. We still need to ask questions in the Q&A box. We will be answered accordingly. And from here, I'll be handing over to Martin. Martin, over to you. We are talking about Victoria University today. And you can share the screen. I'll stop sharing.
Sure. Thank you. All right. Let me just do the sharing right now, and please tell me whether you can see my screen and whether you also see the laser pointer moving around.
We can see your screen and we can see the laser pointer.
All right, excellent. Okay, great. Hello, everyone. My name, as I said at the beginning, my name is Martin. I'm from Victoria University of Wellington. Yeah, I would like to talk to you about our university today. And I have only 25 minutes, so I'm gonna rush through it a little bit. So I will just probably, rush through some slides where I think that's maybe less relevant. So, okay, let's get started. So first of all, we have 3 campuses. This is downtown Wellington. And one campus, our main campus, is up on the hill. Then we have another one that is close here to the waterfront, and a third one that's around the corner from that mountain that you cannot see right now. But there will be another slide where it's a bit better to see where our campuses are located in the city. You probably know where Wellington or where New Zealand is. It's off the coast of Australia to the east. Yeah, the country is about the same size as the UK, but the population is a lot smaller. So we're looking at about 5 million people. As mentioned earlier, you can fly usually directly from Singapore, Malaysia, Thailand, Hong Kong, and some other places. From Singapore, for example, there are flights into Auckland and into Christchurch, and then it's another 15 minutes flight into, 45 minutes flight into Wellington from either of the 2 cities. So that's probably how you would probably get to Wellington. Despite not being the largest city in New Zealand, we are indeed the capital, and it is a medium-sized city. So we are, the Wellington region has about 500,000 people, and it is quite a diverse place. So about 30% of the population were born overseas, including myself. And if you look into our international office, there's the New Zealanders are in a minority, but that's also probably the nature of that office. So it's quite a diverse place. It is a very compact city center, so it's very easy to get around. You don't need a car in the city center. You can walk pretty much anywhere. And anywhere where you can't walk, you can use the bus system. So we have a pretty reliable public transport system in Wellington. We often get asked about the weather. So we have a moderate climate. So in winter time, it gets down to about 10 degrees. It might drop down to 5 in a cold night, but also in the afternoon when the sun comes out, we go up to like 13 or so. Summer is usually 23 to 25 degrees. Wellington is also called Windy Wellington, so we always have a breeze going on, but in summer that also helps with humidity, so we actually don't have humidity, or not a lot. So sleeping at night in summer is possible in Wellington. If you're a foodie, you will love Wellington. We are the culinary capital of New Zealand, from fast food to fine dining and everything in between. And a wide range of foreign cuisine and also fusion cuisines as well. So I think we have something for everyone. And we are also the coffee capital of New Zealand. I can personally not vouch for this because I don't drink coffee, but there are so many cafes in Wellington, and I heard that we do a pretty mean brew in Wellington. So if you love coffee, if you're a coffee junkie, then Wellington is a good place for you. Wellington is also pretty clean and green. So you can be in the city center with all the hustle and bustle, and within 5 minutes walk or 10 minutes drive, you can be in a park or a native bush. Or as you can see, we also have an extensive coastline around the Wellington region. So you will always be close to water as well. So our university is 27 years old. For some parts of the world, that's nothing, but for New Zealand standards, quite old. New Zealand has 8 universities in total, and all of them are public, so we don't have private universities. Our student body is about 20,000 to 22,000 students strong, and of that, oh, actually, I need to update that number. We are looking at about 2,700 international students at the moment, and we have 9 faculties in total, where 8 of them are teaching, and the 9th one looks after our PhD and research students. We are a comprehensive university, so we have undergrad, postgraduate, and PhD programs. And we have a strong connection to the government. So when you look into this picture and you see that roundish building over here, that's our parliament, which we call the beehive. And when you look across the road, the building with the red roof, that is our law school. And when you look at the building that is half cut off, that is our School of Government and our business school. And in this area, you also have the Supreme Court, you have the Business District Court, you have all the government departments and ministry, you have a lot of the embassies there, and you also have a corporate world there. So if you study business, if you study law, if you study international relations, if you public policy or public management, all those things, it's a fantastic place to study it because you're right where the action is. And that is one of our campuses. So as I mentioned, this is the other slide, our 3 campuses, and we start to the left with Pipitea campus. That's the one that you have seen in the previous slide, where we have government, law, and commerce. Then we have our main campus, which you may remember is on the top of the hill. So it drops into the city behind the campus. And here we offer education, engineering, health, humanities, and science. And over to the right, we have Te Aro campus, which is our creative campus. And there we offer architecture and design. To give you an idea, I can walk from Pipitea to Te Aro in about 25 minutes. But of course, there's public transport that you can take in case it rains or you just don't want to walk. So there are options to move around the city as well. So then we have just a few pictures of our campuses. So top left is our main campus, top right is our creative campus, bottom left is our business school, and bottom right is our law school. Rankings, if you are interested in rankings, I think we're doing pretty well. But to be honest, I think all New Zealand universities do pretty well. So we are all in the top 500 in the world out of 18,000 or so universities. So it doesn't really matter where you go in the end, you get really good education in New Zealand. For us, we are on the top 2% out of the 18,000, and we have a few subjects that are ranked in the top 100 in the world. We also, there is an internal ranking in New Zealand where they rank the research intensity. So this is evaluated every 6 years. So, and we have come up on top twice in a row. So hopefully next round we can defend that spot. That would be great. We also have some industry accreditations and recognitions. So our business school has EQUIS and AACSB accreditation. And for any students that are interested in accounting, we do have accreditation also from the Chartered Accountants of Australia and New Zealand. And the other one that I would like to point out is that our engineering programs are all under the Washington Accord, so that means they are recognized throughout the world. Here you see our intakes. We run a trimester system, which is basically the same as a semester system, just that we don't call our summer school, we call it trimester 3. Otherwise, it is very much the same. Our main intake, which happened last Monday for this year, is end of February, early March. That's trimester 1, and that is autumn, end of summer, early autumn in New Zealand. Then trimester 2, that's in July. That's winter. That's when another chunk of programs start. So here most programs start. Here quite a few programs start. Summer school, this is where the least of the programs start, as it is summer school. And that starts in November, and that's the end of spring, early summer. Our undergraduate programs all have the same entry requirement. So if you come, for example, from high school, you need to meet that one entry requirement, and then you can go into any of our undergraduate programs. So that means we don't require specific scores in your high school if you want to go into commerce or into science or into architecture. We also don't stipulate the subjects that you have to study in high school in order to get into the programs. So they all have the same academic entry requirement. For our postgraduate programs, we have two kinds. There is the traditional master program. That one requires a relevant undergraduate background. And this depends a little bit on the master programs. Some of them are more broad, and they can take a broader background, a wide range of backgrounds. And then we also have those that are a bit more narrow, they look for quite a specific background to get into the master programs. On the other hand, we also have something called conversion masters, and that can be studied with any background. And those conversion masters will be pointed out through the next slides when we talk through the faculties. So the next slides will look a bit crazy, and I will get through them probably fairly quickly because I don't think we have otherwise a lot of time to do this. So undergraduate in our humanities and science faculty, we have the Bachelor of Arts, we have the Bachelor of Communication, Bachelor of Music, and the Bachelor of Global Studies. And you see here also when it says double majors that students can take two majors without prolonging their study time. So a major takes about half or less of your degree, and the other half you fill with a minor or electives. But you can also decide not to take minors or electives, or fewer of them, and you do another major instead. But you still stay within the original study time frame. Not all degrees allow that, but if they don't allow it, it says single major only. At the postgraduate level, you can see what is really popular here for us is the Master of Intercultural Communication and Applied Translation. Of course, international relations and political science are very popular. I mean, we are in the capital, we're right with the embassies and everything else. Music therapy, especially in Malaysia and Singapore, we have been quite successful with that program. And then we have some students also in the other programs as well from overseas. Commerce, we only have one undergraduate program, which is our Bachelor of Commerce. As you can see, we offer the classics, we offer HR, we offer finance, economics, marketing, management. But we also offer actuarial science or data science, for example. And you see some of the majors appear in different degrees. So for example, data science is also offered under science. The major is always the same in both of the degrees. Postgraduate, so we have an executive master of business administration. For that one, students would need to have 5 years of senior leadership role experience. So it's quite a high requirement there. And then you see here the ones with the red asterisks, those are the conversion masters. That can be studied with any background. If you have a background in information system, you may not be allowed into professional business analysis because you may have studied that already. But otherwise, they are really open to all sorts of backgrounds. Science, we do a Bachelor of Science for 3 years, a Bachelor of Biomedical Science, and the latest of our programs is actually the Bachelor of Psychology. We have been teaching psychology for many, many years and very successfully. We're quite highly ranked in that, but we never had a dedicated bachelor's degree for that. It was usually under Bachelor of Science and the Bachelor of Arts. But here you go, we have now a new bachelor's degree. Postgrad, we are very popular in climate change, science, and policy. We are quite successful with computer science and data science. Environmental science and drug discovery and development are quite popular as well. For engineering, our engineering faculty is IT focused only. So we don't do civil engineering, we don't do mechanical or chemical engineering. We do anything IT related. So cybersecurity, software development, machine learning, robotics, artificial intelligence. This is the stuff where we shine. And as you can see here, that's a single major only degree, but you can specialize in 2 of the majors a bit further. On the other side, we have Master of Artificial Intelligence that's quite popular. Master of Renewable Energy, it was introduced last year, so it's still a fairly new program. And we have a Conversion Master in Software Development. Then we have Architecture and Design. So we offer that on as a bachelor's degree, a Bachelor of Architectural Studies, or a Bachelor of Building Science. And then we have the Bachelor of Design Innovation with animation, visual effects, design for social innovation. We have game design, we have interaction design as well. When we look at the postgraduate programs, if you want to become a registered architect in New Zealand, you need to either study a Bachelor of Architectural Studies in architecture in New Zealand, or if you have a Bachelor in Architecture, then you need to top up also with the Architecture Professional. This is the master program that you need in order to lead to registration in New Zealand. And you see there's also a conversion master here in user experience design. Law, we have a LLB, an undergraduate program that leads to the bar in New Zealand as a lawyer. And then on the right-hand side, we have the LLM that does not lead to the bar in New Zealand, but that's a specializing degree. And then we have a conversion master with the international trade. For education, early childhood, we offer it as an undergraduate program, 3 years. If you want to be primary or secondary school teacher, then we have the graduate diploma of teaching. We also offer a Master of Teaching and Learning. However, the selection interview for that one has to be in person in Wellington. So that is often not possible for students. So if you're overseas, probably the graduate diploma of teaching would be your choice. And then health, we have a non-clinical Bachelor of Health and a clinical Bachelor of Midwifery. And over here, we have health psychology, we have nursing practice, and we have another conversion master with the physical activity and haura, which is the Maori word for well-being. If you are at the stage that you're interested in PhD, then you are very welcome to do that in New Zealand. So there are usually 3 years, and they are research only. So we don't do taught PhDs. But what is really interesting here is you pay only domestic fees as a PhD student in New Zealand, even if you are international. So that's quite interesting. And also it comes with quite a package. So you get in-study work rights as the PhD student. If you have a partner, they can get an open work visa. And if you have children, they pay domestic fees at the New Zealand schools as well. So, and that is then also followed up by a post-study work visa. So that's quite an interesting package. At our university, we have 3 application rounds per year. It's an online application system. You don't necessarily need to identify a supervisor, but we do highly recommend that you reach out to our postgraduate coordinators to see whether we can actually support your research. And we also do not require a full-blown research proposal when you apply. A expression of interest is enough. And you can also apply for a specific PhD scholarship as well. My computer, oh, here you go. So I'm not going to touch on all of them because I think most of the services that universities offers are quite standard across many universities. But I want to point out that we offer a free of charge service when it comes to academic support. So you can book one-on-one appointments. They have a dedicated person for mathematics and statistics. And they also run a lot of workshops around self-management, time management, stress management, well-being, and so on. The other one is our career development. So they help you with job applications. They do CV writing workshops, interview skill training, and they run careers expos on campus. That's free of charge. And this service is available to you for 3 years after you have graduated. So make sure that you take advantage of that one. And I think the rest is pretty standard across many universities. Of course, it's not all about studying. So we also have over 130 clubs and societies that you can join. And what I would like to point out is also our leadership program. So this one is a great program. It's about 1,200 students every year in that program. And it is a great way to meet other students as well. It helps you also to stand out from the crowd when you start looking for a job, when you have completed the whole thing. And it is a bit of a fun program too. So free of charge. So it's great to do. So check it out on our website if you want to learn more. So scholarships, there are a range of scholarships that you can apply for depending on what you want to study. So this is really just a small selection of it. So please have a look at our website to learn more. So for master programs, for example, there are some that have an automatic scholarship. So that means as soon as you meet the entry requirements, you will be eligible for that scholarship. If there are programs that don't have dedicated scholarships, then you can always apply for the Tongarewa Scholarship, which is kind of an open scholarship that can be applied to almost all programs. So have a look at the website to see if there's anything else that would apply to you. Yeah, for most of them, you would have to apply unless they're automatic. Accommodation. So we do have halls of residence. There are 13 of them, and they range in size and probably also a little bit in character. This would be our most popular option for students. Here, please apply early. So for example, for the February start, the applications open on the 1st of August, so quite early. And you can apply for them even though you don't have an offer for your degree program. So they are complete separate applications. So we never really had a problem with housing our students, but this intake was crazy. So we had a very high interest in student accommodation. So please make sure that you apply as early as you can. The other options are homestay, which it's not so popular with international students at that age. It's usually more for students at high school level, but we are very happy to arrange a stay with a New Zealand family. Private accommodation, yep, definitely an option. However, it can be tricky sometimes if you're still overseas, and also when peak seasons are happening. We have on our website a few options listed as a good starting point. Immigration New Zealand requires funds available of 20,000 New Zealand dollars per year. So you need to show that you have those funds available for visa purposes. The reality is we say usually 23 to 25,000 New Zealand dollars per year. That includes your food, your accommodation, and some minor activities. Obviously, this is lifestyle dependent. So if you are a party animal or a shopaholic, or if you travel the country up and down, that's extra budget. Okay, so that is not included in this. Here you see our accommodation, our halls of residence, where they are located in relation to our campuses. So they're in the city center within walking distance to any of our campuses. Most students receive in-study work rights. This is not related to PhD. PhD was full-time, but for anyone doing bachelor or master, they would get a 20 hours per week work rights. And whenever we have scheduled holidays, you can work full-time. For the post-study work visa, here it depends a bit on the program. Let's just focus on the bachelor and upwards. So the bachelor, all of them need 30 weeks, which is usually a calendar year, a academic year as a minimum. For the bachelor, the maximum is always 3 years. For the bachelor, it depends a little bit how long you study. So if it is a 3 or 4 years bachelor, it's a 3 years post-study work visa. However, if you have started a degree already somewhere else and you get credit transfer, and let's say you get 1 year transferred and you do 2 more years with us, you get a 2 years post-study work visa, and so on and so forth. For master and PhD, regardless of the duration of the program, as long as it is 30 weeks, you get a 3 years post-study work visa. This is a rough outline how to apply and enroll. That varies a little bit from individual situation to another. But basically, you submit the application through RBS Intellect. Then we will review the application, and if everything is in order, we will issue an offer of place. Then you will either accept the offer and pay your fees, and then we will issue you a receipt, and you submit that receipt to Immigration New Zealand. They will issue you the visa. The other option is that you apply for your visa only with your offer of place. Then Immigration New Zealand will go through your application together with the financial documents and everything else that you have to supply. And if everything is in order, they issue something called a visa approval in principle, AIP. And then you will pay your fees, and then we issue the receipt. So those are the 2 options basically to apply. And along the way, you will enroll into your courses and so on and so forth. I believe that's it. I think I stayed close to my 25 minutes, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, looking forward to questions.
You're well around the time, Martin. And if you can stop sharing, I'll share the screen from my end, if you're okay.
Yep, I think I stopped sharing, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. Okay. I think that's good, right? Okay, so I think what Martin has covered for everyone because I can see a couple of questions there, Son, and we will be jumping in very soon. The post-study work right, we'll not cover it again. But again, Son, will you like to talk about skilled residence pathway now, or you want to talk later?
I can go through it quickly if you can.
Here you go.
Okay, basically, skilled residence pathway, we have a number of pathways. Probably the most common one will be the skilled migrant, the new skilled migrant residence pathway, which requires 6 points. And then, of course, the green list pathway. The green list pathway basically is there are 2, the tier 1 and tier 2, and then the care workforce and transport sector pathway. Next. Okay, this is I think this is available online. If you can actually just Google it, and then this is the most comprehensive one that you need. But the details in terms of what is skill employment, what is skill experience, that you need an immigration advisor to help you, because most people have no idea what it means. Okay, so for the green list, this is the pathway. You have tier 1 and tier 2. Tier 1 means that it's a strict residence, you can apply to it. Whereas tier 2 means that you have met those requirements, but you need to work 2 years for it before you can apply for a residence. So no points is required.
Yeah, I think what we'll do is that now we'll be taking questions for everyone, if you're okay. So I'll start from the top. Thank you very much. Again, thank you everyone for listening to us. And ideally that we will try to cover as much questions. So please ask your question. I can see there are still questions out there, but if you are thinking to ask, start asking the question now. Okay, we'll go from anonymous attendee. Hi, everyone. I hope you all are doing well. So I have a question regarding post-study work rights or work visa and green list. I believe we have covered that answer again for everyone. For a reference, I will go back to a slide which we want to show. So depending on the qualification which you're doing, if you're doing a master's degree for 30 weeks and above, you'll be getting a 3-year post-study work right, or we call a stayback option, which is without even your like studying less than 2 years also. So it's irrelevant to this study. It should be 1 year and above or 30 weeks and above. Same as postgraduate diploma. If you're doing a 1-year postgraduate diploma, you'll be getting a 1-year post-study option. Now, effectively, if you're doing a 2-year postgraduate diploma, which is not there, but again, you'll be getting into 1-year post-study work right option only. Now, with the bachelor's, a lot of students want to go for a diploma to degree option, or they want to go for a foundation qualification onwards. So depend if you're doing study for bachelor's, which is 1 year, 2 year, or 3 year, you'll get the outcome respectively. And then again, there are undergraduate qualification, which is diploma level. We will not talk about them today, but we're happy to discuss if any case comes in. So I'll go to Rahmat. Said, I would like to join Masters of Engineering with my thesis and coursework. What are the prerequisites for this course? I believe, Martin, we don't have Masters of Engineering straightforward.
So yes, no, we can. So engineering, Master of Engineering, we do have, we have Master of Engineering with thesis and coursework. We also have a Master of Engineering Practice, which includes a practical and internship. So it depends. I cannot tell you exactly what you need because I don't know where you're from, what is your background. But what we are basically looking for is a background that is relevant to what we teach. So anything IT related engineering. We sometimes can take some mechanical engineers, depending a little bit on the courses that I have taken, but I'm not 100% sure. And you usually need to provide an IELTS of 6.5, no band less than 6, or an equivalent in PTE or TOEFL for, and so on and so forth. So, but if you have any question, then please get in touch with us, and then we can look into that a little bit more into detail.
Great. And again, do remember, guys, as Martin mentioned earlier, Victoria University is quite famous in the IT areas. I think the electronic engineering and AI and all, there is a lot of demand there. If you're looking for civil, mechanical, and other areas, there are other universities in New Zealand. We are happy to support on that. Now, there is a question which I believe will be going to Son. Son will be, I think if a student completes a qualification listed in green list, there is a condition she must work in nominated field, and I researched about it, as a person of candidate must work in nominated profession. Otherwise, it is termed as a violation of rules. Can you please clarify this in detail? For example, a student completes a level 6 or a grad dip in highway engineering, which is a list of green list. Suppose he gets the PA post-study work right. However, is unable to get the job listed in green list. Again, Son, you want to answer? Again, I know a couple of cases are coming in like that.
Yeah,
there's
a lot of confusions. A lot of people think that one, especially if you are doing a study which is not a bachelor degree, so any qualification that's not bachelor degree, you have to be very careful because the post-study work visa only allows you to have an open work visa, conditional open work visa on the particular occupations. For example, you are engineering, so I think it's specified that it's a project management, so you can only work as a project manager even though you are on open work visa. So that open work visa is not really entirely open. It's a conditions. What it means that you can work as a project manager despite that you are paid below $29.66 or even $28, but you cannot work in any other areas. Okay, of course, if you find any other job, for example, you are doing this project management or highway engineering, you find any other jobs and the employer is willing to take you in and it's more than $29.66, by all means, you can apply for accredited employer work visa. Okay, so before you enter, you apply to any courses, please talk to us, talk to an immigration advisor or a lawyer that can tell you more specifically what you can do when you get your post-study work visa.
Great. And again, I'll be suggesting that if you have specific queries, you can email to our ID and we'll forward to Son on that. And at the same time, again, for all the highway engineering students, which have been always mentioned, because you're coming from a civil and construction background, or kind of um, background where you are, you if your funds or financials are okay, you do recommend look into master's option also, master's in construction, master's in civil engineering. You get a 3-year post-study work permit. So again, and there are areas that you can pathway towards if your English requirement is not met. So do take a decision wisely. We've been seeing these queries coming very often. And again, if you are undergraduate, there are bachelors of construction options or bachelor of civil engineering options available in other institutions. I will go to Riyaduddin. I would like to study masters. Can you tell me about that? See, Riyaduddin.
Dara,
Yeah,
do you want me to answer the next few questions? I read a little bit
sure.
ahead, and so for the master programs, obviously it depends on the program that you want to study. As I mentioned before, you might have a program that's a conversion master, which can take any background, or you go for a master program that looks for a specific background, but then there's sometimes also a little bit of a range that can be provided as a background. So it really comes down to what the program is that you're looking for. So, and usually it requires an IELTS of 6.5 with no band less than 6. There are a handful that have higher English requirements, but again, it depends on what you would like to do. The next question is that the person would like to know more about the Master of Professional Business Analysis. So I would actually send here in the chat box the link to the program. Have a look there. There's also a tab in the middle called Requirements, which is a bit of a funny title because it's not only the requirements. If you open this up, it shows you the entry requirements, but when you scroll down, it actually shows you all the courses that you study in the program. So you can actually look exactly what you will be studying in the course. And on the first page, the overview page, it also has the fees. The program is, now I need to 1 or 1.5 years long. Sorry, I can't remember quite off the top of my head. So yeah, have a look at the website. It should say it all there.
I think it's a good point, Martin. If you're okay, we can just answer a couple of other questions at the same time. See, the courses in masters are actually 1 year or 1.5 years. It'll be 120 credit, 180 credit, or 240 credits, 1 to 2 years. Now, the fees is where something when Saik asked this question, something about the fees. So fees again, you may get a complete invoice of fees for 1 year, 1.5 year, or 2 year, but you can pay in installment in terms of 1 year. We don't recommend to pay any fees below 1 year. So again, Martin, average fees of Victoria University in masters will be for 1 year or 2 year. What will be the average fees? If I say the range, I know it's easy to on the website.
Range for the master programs, it could be anywhere between 40,000 to 65,000. I think that would be one of the more expensive programs. Sure. So yeah, anyway, and of course that's New Zealand dollars for everyone on the call. So it's not Australian or American dollars.
Okay, Martin, I have one question for you.
Yes.
What if people who actually can't actually meet 6.5? Is there a program or EAP program for them to do? Yeah, can you elaborate on that?
Sure, that's actually a good question. Thank you very much. So there is, first of all, if you present us with an IELTS or any other accepted English result, and you're close to where you should be, but you're not quite there, then sometimes our admissions team allows you to do a Duolingo test to prove. But this is by invitation only for postgrad. Undergrad, it's different. If you need to top up your English, we offer an English language program called English for Academic Purposes, or EAP. And those programs, when you go through EAP, you don't need to do another IELTS or anything like that after that, as long as you meet the specific requirement, depending what you want to do. Unless it is a program where the English language requirements come from outside New Zealand. So anything nursing, teaching, or midwifery related would be from the council. So we have to adhere to that. But any other program, you can go into your program without doing another external test as long as you meet this requirement. Yeah.
So basically, you can actually give them an offer of EAP plus a master degree together in offer letter.
Yes, so it would be conditional or unconditional for EAP and conditional for the PhD or master.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Great.
Bachelor.
So I think I'll be keeping everyone on time, so if you're okay. So
Oh yeah,
your
sure.
question from Islam again, and again, Martin and Son, if you want to answer the question by typing it out, you read out, type it out.
I
Please,
read through this one before, so that one, yes, we could look into our Master of Health, where we offer health leadership, for example, but also we have a nursing specialization, which will not lead to registration in New Zealand as a nurse. For that, you need to go through the Master of Nursing Practice. But if you want to specialize a bit further into postgraduate nursing, then that one would be of interest. So yeah, so it's
So
not.
yeah,
Sure.
I can add
Go
to that. Is that again? Yeah, again with your Santara, with your background, there are options available, like what Martin said, Masters of Health. If you're looking only in nursing option, there are nursing practices where you can be a registered nurse. Or if your IELTS is 7 in each module, there are options of CAP or a conversion programs. Or currently, New Zealand is coming with the OSCE program. So again, my suggestion, if you have a specific background, please email us with your CV or a background. One of the person from Harvest will get in touch with you and explain you multiple options which you have. And again, I'm putting the IDs hello@rbsintech.com. So I'll go to ANG Sherpa again.
Yeah.
Hi everyone, I'm a Sherpa. As far as I know, some benefit being Sherpa, but I'm not sure. So graduated in medical technology, I would like to further advance in line of my course. What would be the offer for me? Which course would be better for me? So Martin, do you want to answer this?
So yeah, I go through the next two. So or maybe you need to answer that one. We don't offer medical technology. So this might be, I think it might be Auckland or Canterbury. Or
I can
Otago.
answer this one.
Yeah.
I have experience, especially I think Victoria University do not specifically offer medical technology, but if you are into a medical laboratory work, I think Victoria offer a diploma of science which will allow you to be registered with a medical science council, because I have done one student actually that did the English in Christchurch, and then he did a one diploma of science in Victoria Universities, and then he actually went on to register with the medical council for laboratory technician, and now he already applied for a strict residence, and he got a job with DHB, and he's now a resident. So
we do have clinical research, and we do clinical immunology. So there you could fit in, but it is not specifically medical technology. Correct. So that would be a caveat.
Sure.
The next,
I can only add that, guys, there are multiple options available if you are not able to get, because depending upon the country you're coming in, depending on the requirement you are. So there are options with multiple universities. But again, I recommend, do send an email to us. It'll be helpful. Over to you, Martin. Yeah.
The next one is that the student graduated from high school in 2007 and has done undergraduate in college in first year. So I don't know where you're from. So sometimes we accept students directly from your high school qualification. And if you have done then 1 year at a university there, you may be eligible for credit transfer. So you could possibly get some time or some courses off for your degree in New Zealand. But in other countries, we cannot accept directly from high school. So you would then have to do 1 year at a college or a university in your country. And then it will lead you to the first year of our undergraduate program. So I don't know where you're from, but so one of the two options would be probably your situation. So in that case, email us or RBS, and then we can take it from there once we know a little bit more about your situation.
Great. I think that's good. Again, Martin, can you tell how much time the credit transfer or RPL takes if somebody wants to take?
It depends a little bit on the faculty. So some faculties are faster than others, but we usually say up to 6 weeks. So we have some faculties, they do it in half of the time, and some they max out the 6 weeks. So depends a little bit on the situation, and also the time of the year when they apply, because sometimes are downtimes and sometimes are peak.
Great. So coming to right, do you have IELTS requirements? So again, right, we covered the IELTS requirement here. See, if you have scored IELTS test, we need to see the further background. IELTS 6 band overall, no better than 5.5 is good for a bachelor study. But if you're coming for masters, you need 6.5, no better than 6. So please put us a detail, will be easier. Again, Islam would be a long study gap acceptable. Looking forward to hear you. So Islam, these study gaps means that if you're working, that is acceptable. But if you're talking about not working, not studying, and sitting idle at home, that's where we need to see the background what you're doing. So we don't consider study gap if you're working. We don't consider study gap if you are running your own business. So for immigration purposes, those backgrounds are not kind of challenging. But again, Martin, Sun, you want to add anything on that?
Okay, I think this is
yeah,
more of a questions for immigration rather than school, and the school can give you an offer, but whether that study gap is acceptable to immigration, it depends on personal circumstances.
Yeah, so from a university point of view, we recommend not longer than 5 years usually. However, it really depends on the situation. If the student has studied something that is quite stable, like physics hasn't changed much over the last 20 years, but computer science has. So if you have not worked in that industry and you have graduated a long time ago, this might be tricky. But yeah, as Soon mentioned, it's probably another question with Immigration New Zealand. From experience, Immigration New Zealand does accept cover letters. So it's always good to write your situation. Why was this gap? What have you done in that time? And so on and so forth. Explain why that happened or what was going on. That would be your best chance then.
I think we have a similar question from Ravindranath. I've done 12th in 2021 and facing a gap of 2.5 years. I'm eligible for study undergraduate. Again, see, for offer letter is not an issue. For a visa is a question. I think currently yes, and requirement of IELTS is 6, no, it's 5.5. We have one. What about the masters in business? So, Martin,
yeah,
we have EMBA.
So we have EMBA, we have a Master of Global Business where we have marketing and management as a specialization, and that's a conversion master. We also have the Master of Professional Business Analysis, and we have a Master of Commerce. So if you're looking at advanced level courses in commerce, so if you look at our bachelor's degree with all the 14 or so majors, we offer advanced level courses for those majors. So marketing management, actuarial science, then that could be the Master of Commerce instead. That also leads more to PhD if that's a pathway that students want to take. The Master of Global Business, the Master of Professional Business Analysis, and the Master of Professional Accounting, they can lead to PhD, but it's not such a straightforward process. And the EMBA requires the 5 years of senior leadership work experience. So depends a little bit.
Great. Again, one should be great to see the background and see. We'll be helping more details on that. Coming to Praveen, interested in PhD. So everyone who are interested in PhD, I'll be giving a very complete answer or say generic answer for everyone. The best part is that go to university website. There are research areas. If you can go to the particular research areas, specifically for Victoria University, there are three entry dates or before you have to apply. But even if you're looking for any university areas, go to that research particular area on that website. Try to connect with the faculty or supervisor who can accept you in your particular research. As and when the research supervisor or faculty accepts you, they confirm you on email and they recommend you for applying for the offer letter with the international department. That's where it went to the international team for the processing of your offer letter. Now, this process can take between 5 months to 9 months. It is not a straightforward process of PhD. On the fee side, the fee is between $8,000 to $10,000. It's a domestic fees. What a domestic student is also paying. So it's again giving a whole idea that it's not straightforward on a PhD application that you apply to international department to get the offer letter. But Martin, do you want to add on that? If I missed something on this.
Yeah. So as I mentioned in the presentation, best is really to reach out first to the academics. to see whether it is worth to apply. Because if we can't cover your research, or if we don't have capacity or whatever, there's no point in going through the entire application process. However, if they give you the thumbs up and say like, yep, that sounds perfect, then go for it, apply. There are those 3 application rounds, and from each of those or cutoff dates, it's 7 weeks to to process the application. And if you are successful, then you are given, I think, 9 months to start your PhD. So that is then, you will then talk to your supervisor and you will find the best possible date for both of you to start.
Great. Now, there is a question about accompanying husband and son here. So you want to add about what the policy about master's student who can bring their wife or a husband?
Yeah. Okay, basically, in terms of funds, number one, not just having the fund, but immigrations would like to know the source of fund, how you actually come up with the fund. That's number one. Number two is that if you are doing master degree and your husband or your spouse can actually get a post-study work visa, and then with that, only your children can apply for a domestic student work visa. And this is possible if you cover all the basics and you get an offer from the university.
Great. Yeah. So for everyone, guys, masters is a primary area if you're looking to bring your spouse with you who can get a work, right? But if you're going for other qualification which are registration linked, please get in touch so that we can update you it's the right course or right study or not. Yes, Johan, there'll be a recording of this session on YouTube link of RBS. Ravindranath, scholarships are based on 10th or 12th. It will be based on 12th or high school, if I'm not wrong. Martin, I believe, is the last studied education. Yes. Sheffield, IELTS recommend for masters. We have answered this 6.5 in November 6 or equivalent in other areas. It will be PT 58, if I'm not wrong. There'll be language center. There are multiple test requirements. From Sapon, how about paying the master's first year course fees by applying for a local loan facility from Sri Lanka? Sisapun, yes, the local loan or education loans are acceptable. So you're talking about visa. There are multiple ways to apply for the visa. If you are looking to study in New Zealand, and there's a multiple sources you can apply or funds you can apply through. We'll suggest if you can email, there is RBS partner office in Sri Lanka. We're happy to recommend you on that side. And there are again good ways to get things supported to you. This is anonymous attendees, can I get into the environmental studies of masters after coming from an IT background bachelor's? So Martin, this for you, a non-background for environmental.
So we have a Master of Environmental Studies and we have a Master of Environmental Science. The studies one takes quite a wide range of backgrounds. However, it is a social science degree after all. So it's around critical thinking and how to get, policies that are in line with environmental science and so on and so forth. So here I can only say you would need to apply and see what the outcome is. For the environmental science, usually not, unless you have done quite a bit of statistics papers, then you could fit into environmental science as well. So again, see what we say. I cannot make that call. This is a call for the academics to make, but yeah, those programs are not really known for an IT background, but you never know. It depends on the composition of your courses that you have taken.
Sure. So a question from Neelam, what are the entry requirements for the admission, like academic percentage and proficiency? So again, Martin, a generic, what would be a GPA or be required or a percentage required for undergraduate?
Well, it really depends. It really depends where you're from. So, for example, from India, we would accept high school qualification, CBSE. Sorry,
CBSE, yeah, CBSE and ICSE,
and also the local boards. For Malaysia, we would accept SPM, we accept UEC, sorry, not SPM, STPM, UEC, A levels, IB, and so on and so forth. And in some countries, we do not accept the high school qualification. There you would have to do either foundation or 1 year of academic study or whatever. And at postgraduate level, there it also depends on what you have done. What was your background? Where have you done it? So unfortunately, we cannot really pin it down. But have a look at our website, especially at undergraduate level. We have it all listed when you go to the degree and then you look for your country. Postgraduate, it's a bit more tricky.
I think, Neelam, you're from Nepal. So idea is that there is secondary schooling or high schooling similar to what we have in India from Nepal. The percentage should be ranging between 70 to 80%, what we suggest. But there are other pathways to come into all also. I think, Sun, you have a question. I'm actually talking about something other. Students completing bachelor will get open work permit. Our students enrolled for courses in green list will not be getting open work permit, right? They have to work on a nominated professional in the green list. My question is, what if student is not able to get the job as per the course in the green list? So I think this is two questions there, not one.
I think I've already answered the questions previously. You can only, when you have this post-study work visa, you can only work on the occupations that's nominated in the course or in the visa, because the post-study work visa specify what you can do and what you cannot do. Other than that, you cannot work, and that's it. It's not an open work visa, unfortunately, and I think some of the students actually misunderstood. Yeah, I think I've already answered that before.
Okay, great. I think we'll go to the question is from Neelam again. The financial documents, we can share the checklist with you, what are the requirements, but please email so that we can know the background. And again, you can also reach out to our business Nepal office to support. We are happy to answer all the things for you. And John, I'm planning to study marine biology. Work opportunities available through college or outside. See, I've mentioned the job site for chat for everyone, but again, Martin, over to you. Do you want to add something on that for now?
So this is for the jobs during the master. So you can work 20 hours per week and full-time during scheduled breaks. Most of our students would work in casual jobs. But you never know. There's the Department of Conservation. They might have some part-time job available or whatever, but that is something that you would need to look up. But most of our students would work in casual jobs while they are studying.
Great. I think we have, I think on live, we have Sheful Kosar in social science related to masters, the IELTS requirement 6.5 as per website. Is there any chance to be admitted with 6 band in public policy, development studies, and international relations subject? Now, Martin, I know the answer is no, but
the answer is no. Even for the Duolingo one, if everything is 6, that would be you might, I don't know. If your overall score is the only one that it does not meet the 6.5, you may, but this is a decision for our admissions team to make. Yeah.
Our other option is that we recommend there is the option of EAP if that suits the market. Yeah, EAP will be EAP is English for academic purpose. It's the courses between it can range from 8 to 16 weeks or 24 weeks, depend upon what level you are in. We suggest better appear for IELTS or PET or language cert. That'll be much better and it's a much cheaper option also. Apart if it's not in the one module only, what Martin said, if your writing or reading is 6, rest all is meeting, please you can go through a Duolingo option if faculty or admissions agree. So Ravindranath, I have heard about bachelor's degree offer 3-year post-study work visa. Yes, it's correct. 3 years bachelor's will offer 3-year post-study work visa for your reference. Now, Praveen Kanal currently have completed my certified management accounting from ANZ, which is equivalent to master's level 9. Can I apply for research program? Over to you, Martin.
So from ANZ,
it's strange. It should be CANZ, or ACCA.
So it's usually if it is we need an academic background. So if it is a professional qualification that was not studied through a academic institution, then it might be a no. If you studied this at an institution, there is actually an academic background in it, then probably yes. So again, I don't know what exactly that ANZ is. So
yeah, it should be CANZ, but like that's fine. Again, you can email Praveen; it'll be helpful to us. Praveen, what are the using pay rates for students studying on student visa? So it's the minimum pay rate is 22.70, which is changing from 1st of April, if I'm not wrong. 23.15.
Yeah, 23.15 from 1st of April.
1st of April. So again, we always recommend if somebody you're coming on a student visa, bring 3 to 6 months of sufficient fund with you so that you know what and how is going on for your initial start. First part-time job, first full-time job always take time. But again, depend upon you, how good you are and how better you present yourself. There'll be a lot of support and things, but be ready for, at least gives yourself a breather for 2 to 3 months to start with all the funding and all. So then I'm a lawyer by profession. I have a LLM UK. Can I go for another master's program? And I get IELTS waive off? Martin,
okay,
I have an answer over to you.
So yes, you can do another master program. You may need to expect questions from Immigration New Zealand why you want to do another master program rather than progressing into PhD, for example. So this question may or may not come. If you just remember that if you do another LLM, for example, with us, it would not lead to the bar in New Zealand. So you would need to check with the New Zealand Council of Legal Education, I think that's the name. You need to check with them how your qualification from overseas could be anywhere recognized. This is a bit out of our hands. Yes, you can get an English waiver if you have graduated from the UK within the last 2 years. If it is longer than that, that could be tricky, but it depends on the circumstances. If you have continued living in an English-speaking country, then there might be some leniency, but depends on individual circumstances.
Great. I'm just putting the website of New Zealand Council of Legal Education for the reference purposes. Now, we got possible reasons of getting visa rejection from anonymous. So there can be multiple reasons, but currently immigration is looking purely into financials, and sometimes you may get interview. But guys, this is where we recommend either take a support of licensed immigration advisor or companies like RBS. We will happy to guide you wherever we can. We don't mind supporting and again suggesting. But then there can be a lot of reasons for rejection. There may not be any rejection, depend upon where you are. Praveen Kanal, okay. Praveen, Yo Harsing ANZ. That's what I think we better give a full name. It'll be helpful, but we can update you. So I think we've answered a lot of all questions for now. Martin and so on. Any last few minutes? I can see there's a hand from one person. So if you can ask question in a chat box, it'll be helpful, or Q&A box. It'll be no direct or one-to-one answers will be there. So I think what I'll say, Martin and Son, any last 30 seconds if you want to. Otherwise, we'll say thank you for everyone.
No, basically, I just want to say that before you make any decision, talk to us. Always talk to us. Reach out to the university, reach out to RBS, reach out to immigration advisor, so we can answer your question and plan your future, and so that you understand what you're getting and what you're gonna get after you finish your study. Okay.
Great, Martin. You want to add anything? Otherwise, there's one question last minute.
Was there another question? Yeah.
It's about the somebody want to know the PhD. Much want to know the PhD process for applying for PhD.
I'll just gonna put a link in the comments box, because there is, so it's a it's a bit of more of a process than applying for a master or a bachelor's degree, but obviously you're studying PhD, so I guess there can be a little bit more requirement.
I've just added a link, if you're okay, Martin. I've added
Yep.
that link. Oh yeah, you added similar.
Yep.
Yeah,
So
I've added
just
another
added the
link.
links. I have a look for the PhD. And what is it? Am I eligible for New Zealand study visa if I pursuing a course attended the exemption but got unsuccessful results? I'm not quite sure what that means.
Yeah, I'm eligible for New Zealand study visa if I'm pursuing a course, attempted the examination but got unsuccessful results. See, Ravindra, if you're studying bachelor's or going to master's, you have to have a completion of bachelor's. If you've not completed any qualification or a previous qualification, you need to do a foundation or a pre-master's qualification, or depend upon what will be the entry requirement university or institution set for you. So please send your details on email. It will be helpful before we answer. Martin, last 30 seconds from you before we finish it up.
Well, I'm just going to say thank you very much for joining. So if have a look at our website, reach out to RBS. They can also reconnect with me if need be. We also have someone based in India. If you are in that region, that could help with some questions. And yeah, otherwise, we look forward to your application, and hopefully we see you in New Zealand.
Great. I think thank you, Martin. Thank you, Sun, for joining. It's appreciated. We wanted to keep it within 1 hour, 1 hour, 15 minutes. Great.